Before we start the video, I just want to say rest in peace, Tom Kane. He was Takeo Masaki from, the Black Ops Zombie series, and he was a great voice actor, and I'm sure he was a great guy as well. So rest in heaven. I think that Totenreich is hands down the very best modern zombies map since I think Black Ops 4 Ancient Evil. That was probably my last favorite of all time zombies map, you could say. And so far, like, this is my favorite zombies map, and I'm still having trouble putting this game down now just because of this one map. So also, I took a while to make the script for this video, so just to let you know, I've been like, this could have come out like much earlier, but I've never really written a script for a review this long, so let's just get into it. So for me, the biggest reason as to why I love this zombies map is the layout and the theming of the whole area. The general story of this map is that Group 935, that being a scientific research division of the Third Reich, originally led by Dr. Ludwig Maxis and Edward Richtofen, the GOAT, in the original timeline. Here they were housed on this Norwegian island called Eidskallen, of which they hosted strange experiments, ultimately leading to the island being trapped in the dark aether. There's a sense of 935's presence being not surprisingly oppressive against the Norwegian people. Not only them, but also their Norse gods, as evident by the Necropincer, which is actually a Draugr, basically a Norse mythology evil spirit, usually depicted in zombie form. So it's basically just a Norse zombie who is rising from the depths to attack 935. Not to mention Astrid's role in this map when you interact with her ghost and she takes the souls of her enemies, channeling them into the Norse wonder weapon, the Jotun. I think the darkness of Nazi experiments causing the zombie outbreak, mixing that with that kind of Norse mythology aspect of the map, is just awesome in my opinion. It makes me very curious about the map's lore. The intriguing lore of how Hitler won the World War, how Richtofen met with von List from Vanguard Zombies to harness 115, to basically bind his soul to Cortifex to accomplish insane amounts of evil, and this map being an origin story for the robots, along with the Shadowsmith, who is a literal frost giant, or Jotun, as you will, really just enhances the core gameplay, that being the layout and map unique items slash abilities at display here. The map is divided into these multiple islands by zipline, each having a more open area good for training up zombies, and other areas being very tight where you have to use a good amount of caution if you're looking to buy a perk or to hide inside from the new cold mechanic introduced in this map as the new special rounds, which we'll talk about in a minute. But besides each island having a good divide between open and more dangerous areas, there's also the contrast between the core foundry area and Eidskallen village, basically Norwegian Viking village, fishing village aesthetic versus the high-tech Nazi facility where they're creating robots, experimenting and locking up civilians. You see what once was versus what happened, and it's just a great visual storytelling, technique. And add on the snow to the map, and it's going to be a good map, because I don't know why, but snow is like the magic fairy dust that guarantees a good zombies map, excluding Tagder Toten. I hate that map. I guess I don't hate it, but it's terribly mediocre. Speaking of snow, let's discuss the new special zombie round, that being these ice zombies. Now, I was very afraid that these would just be another recolor of every other exploding zombie from so many other games, but thankfully they're not. As the round starts, the whole map starts to freeze, including you, which slows down your movement. Then the ice zombies spawn, and they don't explode but hit you as any other zombie would, but when they die, they leave this small snow swirl storm that will slow you, and I don't think it damages you, but it just slows you. They aren't too overwhelming, but add a good amount of variety to the core gameplay. You'll have either the new wonder weapon, the Jotun, stay inside a building, or use one of the various fire traps around the map to stay warm and survive this round effectively. Also, one of the Viking helmets you'll get later on, but I'll get to that in a bit. The game is now giving you unique map-specific options to deal with a unique map-specific enemy. This just immerses the player further. Going over to the new elite enemy, the Necropincer, I think that his look is cool, basically being a dragger, a drogger, and having a Viking fit with a trident and crab claw as his weapons. If you're farther away with him, he will throw out his trident, which does a little AoE. It's not too bad. And if you try to shoot him, he'll pull up his shield somehow, which is basically somehow magically connected to his claw, blocking any damage coming his way. Just like with the ice zombies, there is a few ways to deal with him. Either passively waiting for him to drop his shield when he's going to throw his spear, tridents, so that you have an opening to mow him down. Or you can play aggressive, breaking his shield, stunning him, and just taking him out that way. You can also get behind him, and kill him. But it's a bit harder. There's a few ways around that. Options are nice, and honestly, fighting him reminded me of fighting the jackals from Halo, just more beefed up. Overall, two very fun special enemies to fight against, and they are wholly unique, which is, if you remember Black Ops 6, then you know how much of a blessing this is. Black Ops 6 had barely any unique enemies after the first two maps. Moving on to the Wonder Weapon, the Jotun Star, our second ever melee wonder weapon in Modern Zombies. And this might be a controversial opinion, but I think this is my favorite wonder weapon in the game. It's not the best. I'd say the Necrofluid Gauntlet is obviously the best with its infinite damage potential. And the way it can overcharge your healing, which I hope is a mechanic that returns with another wonder weapon later on. But the Jotun Star, besides crazy high round damage, really has everything else going for it. The quest to attain this badass weapon isn't complicated. It's simple and just straight up fun, like a fun quest to do. After you turn on power, you have to make your way down to the boating dock. There you'll flip a switch to wall jump and grab a chain from this boat. After that, you have to grab a can of beans. I know, a can of beans on the bridge behind the truck. Place that on the table in the town square. On round 10, you'll get a frozen zombie round, so you can kill the Zursa bear and grab the actual lantern piece. Then the actual interesting part happens where you have to align these constellations, which is a really neat and visually stunning step in the quest. Yet again, we have magic used in the story, which I always like. This is to summon Astrid, who was a girl who lived in the village. She tells you to eliminate the invader scum to fill her up. Once you fill her up, you get this really cool spectacle moment of the map where you're wall jumping. You see Dravacar come out of the water, and it's just awesome. You grab the Jotun Star from the top of the lighthouse, which, by the way, opens up the... before I go forward, I want to say, the whole parkour section, when you get the Jotun Star, it's great. They really need to incorporate more parkour into this game, because that's the wall jumping is a huge mechanic that they've been overlooking till now. This map, actually, you can use it to your advantage, even when training. So to have a specific quest to that is really cool, and I like how it basically shows you a huge outlook of the map as well. You can get a good view of it. But once you do that quest, it opens up the whole lighthouse that you can now use for the rest of the game, which is always cool. Just like the Shattered Veil Easter egg, opens up some hidden areas, which I love. And the Jotun Star, although it's not the high damage wonder weapon like I mentioned before, it's still a lot of fun to use with melee macchiato. It's so much better and viable to I'd say around 55 if you're skilled. The faster swing, I think after 60 it gets, obviously it's not a great option, but the faster swing augment is a game changer. You have to use that one. And what this wonder weapon has is really 3 main attacks. The basic swing, which kills 2 to 3 zombies at once, and if you swing 3 times in a row, you get a longer ranged whip attack that honestly can take out a whole horde at times. It's awesome. Makes you feel like Richter from Castlevania. Then its last attack after killing a few zombies, the lantern charges up. I guess I said 3, but there's 2. But there's secretly a third one we'll get to. But after you get a few zombie kills, it charges up the lantern, and you can throw a fireball that decimates a horde of zombies. Very useful and fun to use. Not only is it good for killing, it also has a very nice utility option, as if you have it out during a ice round, you will not freeze if it's fully charged. Also, you can open up frozen perks as well with it, and it has this other very unique feature where if your teammate, this is the one I was mentioning, if your teammates also have the Jotun Star, then a tether of like a line of fire will connect you to, killing any zombies that get too close. It's very cool. Just the design, the animations, the unique effects, and map specific utility is what really makes this wonder weapon special. It's just amazing. Before we get to the main Easter egg, I want to talk about some of the side Easter eggs real quick. Mainly the best ones, the 4 Viking helmets you can get, but there's also one trap Easter egg you can do with the Ted task that allows you to mount his head on a fish's body and use him basically as a monkey bomb that converts a whole zombie horde into turned zombies, which is very cool, and really useful. Now the Viking helmets, I didn't do all of them, but I know what they all do, and they're all game changing if you get all of them, especially one match. Starting off with the 2 I did get, the gnome helm, which is super easy to activate. You basically just shoot 4 gnomes around the map as he's cussing you out. Then it'll appear at the little shop in the map, and there's the helm that turns you into a gnome. And as a gnome, you are invincible. You can kill zombies very quickly, and it's just fun to use. Something very unique that takes you back to the spider bait days from Setsubo no Shima. A big plus too is that you can buy the helm, I think, after every round now. Apparently they patched it and you can no longer buy an unlimited amount every round. Just once every round. And also the gnome can't wall jump anymore, which kind of sucks, but it's still very effective. Moving on to the Icebane helm. This is obtained by killing, I think, 200 zombies with the fire trap, then 200 with your guy while standing in with your gun, I mean, while standing in like the heat aura of the trap. After that, it'll drop, and now you are immune to freezing. And now every time you slide, you freeze the zombies too, which is especially nice when you have PhD slider. Very useful, takes away the challenge of ice rounds completely. It's also broken for the boss during his ice phase. Then there's the Golden Tide helmet you can get from killing a special zombie named Olaf while fishing. This helm grants you better loot while fishing, which is great. And then you have the I cannot read today. The Coin Toss helmet, which is acquired by killing a bunch of zombies in different locations, determined by looking inside of Tyr's head. You have to do this, I think, 10 times, I believe. And once it's acquired, you get better luck. So basically, increased power-ups, which is insanely useful. Pretty OP. Cool thing is that you can swap out these helmets anytime in the Viking Hall on the table, which is great, and gives you a good sense of progression of power within your run, I'd say. Which I feel like a lot of other modern zombie maps are, sorely missing. Just to briefly mention the relics found within the map so far, I've only gone for one of them, the little Arnie relic, the dancing Arnie, which randomizes all perk machines, which is kind of fun to use. And there's, I believe, a leaked one called the wrestling belt or wrestler's belt that I'm very interested in. I think I mentioned this before in other videos. And allegedly, it will randomize wall buys. I can't wait to get that one specifically. I think Treyarch's strange inability to add new DLC or seasonal weapons as wall buys is frankly ludicrous. So at least this has the potential to add those to the walls. Another one I might go for is the Agarthan Device, which causes a different special zombie wave every round, which I experienced when playing Cursed Public matches. By the way, Cursed Public matches, it's kind of broken, but apparently they admitted they released it by accident, so whatever. Hopefully they fix it very soon. And yeah, the whole map round, and by the way, it's broken because like sometimes when you go into a match, it's like, maybe I'll make a video on this, but you go into a match, it's just totally random which relics it'll grab. It might grab someone's full set of relics that they have on, or it might just do no relics whatsoever, and it's really annoying, especially if you're the only one with relics. The other 3 relics consists of the stuffed elephant relic, which increases your health regen delay, which isn't crazy, but could be really bad for the boss. The power and also the power switch, which will randomize your tactical and lethal equipment every round. That could be really annoying if you need the Casimir's, because you won't have them. And the music box, where you can only kill zombies with critical kills, headshots. I can see this being very useful if you need to get the camo grind done. You can only kill them by headshots. You just need headshots for like the camos, right? So there you go. That's very useful. Just hop onto a survival map and use that. Now going over to the Easter egg. Surprisingly, this is the easiest Easter egg in the game so far, even though it's on the biggest map. And we just got maybe the hardest Easter egg on the smallest map, Paradox Junction. But who cares if it's easy as long as it's fun? And I think it is for the most part. First, you got to open up both sides of the map to turn on power, which, by the way, playing this for the first time on Cursed, it was really hard to find power and get PAP, since it's not a traditional power switch. And it's these small like power line switches it's a good thing that's hard, but it was really hard to find. It actually feels like a quest to get power and PAP on, instead of just open one door and kill zombies, whatever. Now the power quest forces you to explore most of the map. PAP introduces you to the new exclusive map score streak, the Glock drop, which you'll need later to kill zombies and grab some uranium. Speaking of uranium, there's also the step where you need to fish to find a Ravager voice crack. Kill it, then get its uranium. I'm not going to go through, every step, because this is going to be too long. But what I like about the main Easter egg is that it introduces you to the new mechanics and its items, like the Glock drop and the Wonder Barrage, and it's all integral to the Easter egg instead of it just being there for being their sakes. Wonder Weapon quests, again, amazing, and just how the whole quest is basically the origins of the robot Tyr, and we're repowering him to fight Dravikar, to basically set up a Pacific Rim fight against a kaiju, which is really cool. Honestly, I don't really have any gripes with the Easter egg. Like, yeah, some of it relies on randomness, but it's not bad randomness. Like, the finding the green fish is very easy, and it's very distinctly glowing green. And yeah, the artillery round is randomized, with which box it'll be in, but there's always a note nearby showing you which box it'll actually be in, so it ain't too bad. I guess my only complaint is that I don't like the RCXD step, since it's just a bit wonky at times, and we already had that like same exact step in Paradox. And the uranium step feels impossible at times, and at other times insanely easy. So the whole Easter egg by itself, it's fun to do. It shows you new mechanics and how to use those, and it's great. So the boss fight against Dravikar is perhaps the best and most fun boss fight in the entire game so far. You'll drop in and begin to witness a badass brawl between Tyr and Dravikar. It is both awesome and very distracting, as all you'll want to do is watch the fight, and then you'll get down by a horde of zombies because you're not paying attention. While they're fighting, weak points will appear on the boss, where you have to of course shoot while you're dodging a whole horde of zombies. Just to note, on Cursed, you're gonna have super sprinters most of the time, I believe, and it can get hectic, so be careful. I definitely recommend Casimir's or Monkey Bombs. Those are essential, or Aether Shroud, anything to get the zombies off you for a bit while you damage the Frost Giant. After a while, Dravikar will start to crash out and pop off on Tyr, putting him to sleep for a while. If you fail to damage him enough in this first phase, though, he'll start blasting different areas of the arena, making them frosty, forcing you to either move to a different area, use your lantern for heat, or activate the fire traps for warmth. During this, the frost zombies will also spawn, which on Cursed is pretty intense. Phase 2 has Dravikar spawning in these dumb floating heads that will hit you with glaciers if you're too close. And your job is to throw a fireball right into his mouth before he summons the ice. This will knock him down, and all you have to do is destroy the head. Basically, this will go back and forth between the two phases during the boss, with the last phase spawning in 2 or 3 heads for you to destroy. I believe in co-op it's definitely 3. The last 2 phases will involve Dravacar shooting projectiles. You can dodge while you hit his criticals. Then the final phase, you'll shoot his face while you dodge more projectiles. Except this time you cannot hide, and if you're playing cursed, zombies will attack you as well. Overall, this boss fight is tough but not unfair. It requires good spatial awareness, knowledge of the map mechanics such as the cold effects and the fire traps capabilities, as well as a general skill with the wonder weapon and timing the shot for the head's face. So there's a bit of a skill gap there, which I like. You cannot just steamroll through this thing, and I believe that is a very good thing. Challenge is good. Tyr is a great boss fight in the game, and my favorite even, and a spectacle to behold. Just my opinion. Now the last thing I want to cover is the ending cutscene. I will say that it is cool that Dravacar goes on to explain how the Dark Aether works and such, but honestly, with it being basically the thing that holds existence together and that everything created comes from it some way or another is not surprising and feels like something we already knew. At least I kind of guess that's what it was. He does confirm the next map is going to be a place of fire, probably Takio's leaked volcano map, which has me hyped. Then probably the Warden's map. But other than that, it is very similar to the Paradox cutscene with the twins. You know, basically saying we're going to a cold place next and finding another MacGuffin called the World Seed. Now we're going to look for the World Seed. But it's not like a bad thing. It's just a bit basic of a cutscene. I do want to mention, though, the voice actor for Dravacar is very good here and intimidating.
Before we confront our former slave master, you will restore balance to this realm, as she foretold.
And I love how he forcefully gives Richtofen's soul back to him by choking him and then chucking him back. But with Weaver, he just gently touches his forehead. It's a nice, characterization without him saying much. Very good performance. And yeah, I mean, that's the map there. My script, I was, sounded like I was reading it. I'm sorry, my voice is just kind of dry, but I want to try scripting things more because I get all the points I want and, more of a concise place. I don't miss anything, even though I probably missed something here. I didn't do all the side Easter eggs. And like I mentioned, I didn't do all the relics. But yeah, that is Totenreich. I love this map. I'm going to still be playing this map till the next one comes out. I do want to mention, though, like, for some reason, the wildfire, like, the shield breaker challenge, this is just total different thing, but getting the shield breaker challenge, killing the dragger with the freaking headshot while he has his shield up it's like bugged on my game. I can't get it, which is so stupid. I really wanted to use wildfire, but I guess the game hates me. I don't know. But anyways, this map is great. I can see this being in the argument for top 10 of all time. I could definitely see that. Is it better than Ancient Evil? I don't think so, but it's, it's close. It's like, it's almost on the same tier. See what I did there? So, I'll see you guys later. Let me know what you thought about the video, and yeah, sorry for it taking so long, but I got it out, and yeah. What do you guys think about the map? Do you like the boss fight? What do you think about the wonder weapon? And don't forget to subscribe. Good night.